Good evening. We start here tonight. The South African Reserve Bank has today unveiled new coins and banknotes which will come into circulation, and the event that was held at the Nelson Mandela Foundation in Houghton, Johannesburg. For more on this, we are joined by Kuben Naidoo, who is the Deputy Governor of the South African Reserve Bank and a member of the Monetary Policy Committee. Kuben, thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. A huge, significant milestone once again for South Africa's democracy for this event. What does it mean to have new coins and new banknotes for the Reserve Bank?
Good evening, Xolani. Let me start by saying you're right, it is a big milestone. These are the first significant changes to our coin series since 1989. We have regularly updated our banknotes, more regularly than the coins. The Mandela was originally put onto the banknotes in 2012. We introduced a commemorative note more recently to celebrate his 100th birthday in 2018. And this is a significant upgrade to the security features of the banknotes.
Let's talk about those security upgrades, because there is an international best standard, or a standard that is most observed, in that every 6 to 8 years at least a central bank must change the currency that is in circulation. What is in the new security features?
Sure. Let me start by saying that the reason why we update the security features is to prevent counterfeiting. You are always going to get criminals who try and counterfeit money. We try and make it as difficult as possible. And South Africa's got a pretty good track record in minimizing counterfeiting. So these security features are designed to make it very difficult to counterfeit. The number of inks we use, the type of paper or substrate, it's a combination of paper and cotton actually that we use. We have micro-lettering of the words of the preamble of the Constitution around Madiba's portrait. We have a magnetic metal strip running through the note, each note differently. On the back of the note, we've got same big five animals, but now as a family. We've increased the security features quite significantly. We have what's called a tilt function, whereas if you tilt the note, you see a different image. We've upgraded the watermark. We've also made enhancements to help blind people more easily identify the notes.
Through Braille, this is something that is absolutely new. And when are we...
It's not quite Braille, sir. We've changed the number of dots, and so the notes have always had elements in which blind people could feel and thereby detect what note is. We've just made it easier for them.
Let's talk about when can we expect for the new notes and the new coins to come into circulation. I read somewhere that it could be as early as tomorrow or this week.
Sure. It will take a long time for people to see the notes. We start issuing them tomorrow, but we do them sequentially over a long period of time, over several months. So it is not likely that you'll see the notes quickly, but from tomorrow we do start introducing them.
I'm sure there are people out there who lack the trust, who don't trust the process, and who actually will question whether you are actually giving me the money that you're supposed to be giving me in a transaction. How do you plan to make sure that the public is made aware? I'm sure there is a campaign that is on foot that is going to educate people about the new money that's coming into circulation.
You're absolutely right. The new note series has got the upgraded note series has got a slightly different color scheme. So basically the same colors but slightly brighter. And so people might say, oh, what's this? We have a very big media campaign, such as me talking to you here and talking to your listeners, a very big media campaign across all channels, from social media to print, television, newspapers, all of that over the course of the next few months to inform the public. We also have an app that informs the public about the security features and the app actually helps people to tell if the currency is fake or counterfeit or real. But I would also like to stress that both versions of the notes and coins are still legal tender and will always be legal tender. You can use any of the notes and coins. They do not change value. And we will make sure that both sets of notes and coins are legal tender at all times.
And that's quite an important part to actually say that the old and the new and the current, they are still holding the same value as a currency, for transaction. This is something, the change in the notes, in that you're using paper and cotton, it's something that has to do with to make it more difficult for those criminal elements to actually to commit counterfeiting, and to make it harder for them to actually do that. The comparison with the US dollar, which is more cotton than actually paper, is actually something to note. Here in South Africa, how would you say the counterfeiting rings, how bad are they? How bad is the situation, if I could even use the word bad?
So globally, the benchmark is around 12 notes per million. We check, and we use the banking sector to check as well when we collect notes and we sample notes. If we think that more than 12 notes per million is counterfeit, we think we've got a big problem. That's the global benchmark. In South Africa, the number is actually much lower than that. It's about 7 or 8. It rises the longer a note is in circulation. But so we've got to be proactive. Before it reaches the level of 10 or 12 per million, we've got to make sure that we've upgraded the security features. So the new notes are designed in two respects. One is to try and make it more difficult to counterfeit, but also they should last longer. We used materials and inks which should last us longer. But we've also updated some of the artwork to take account of our heritage, our history, our culture.
And the family values as well. That I see that that was the central part of some of the notes. You're still keeping the same big five, but now there's a bigger a lion and a small one, tiger. And what was the messaging behind that? Obviously, you wanted to send a message, although you kept Madiba, you kept the big five, the fauna and the flora in the coins. There was that message of family values that you're trying to instill here. Exactly.
As you say, to instill family values, but also to give a sense to the world and the country that we have different ages in our population. You know, we have different genders in our population. And the depiction of the animals at the back of the note certainly helps to depict a diversity of age and gender.
That is quite interesting. In terms of where we are as a country now, our sophistication, our banking system is quite sophisticated for a developing country like ours. This actually puts us up there still. It maintains our stature in the world because of how our banking system is sophisticated. So should our money.
Absolutely. These notes and coins meet the best technology in the world from a security point of view, from an anti-counterfeiting point of view. They're ISO compliant with the latest technologies.
Let me ask you about something that I actually saw while preparing for this interview, that you also have experts who in counterfeiting who study it, and they don't literally study each and every counterfeit banknote that's out there. They actually study the South African banknote so that they know it intimately. They know they study that more than they study any other counterfeit note, so that they can distinguish between the fake and the real thing. Are we that sophisticated when it comes to that part?
Yes, but it's more important that you are able to differentiate between a real note. You know, my grandmother should be able to differentiate between a real note and a counterfeit. We want security features that the ordinary person in the public either can see that this is fake or can become familiar with the security features, can understand the security features. The app will help. But our media campaign, our publicity campaign, our education campaign will have to give every South African the confidence that the note that they're holding is real.
And you found that over the years, South Africans are actually good at identifying which notes are counterfeit, which notes or questionable, which notes are actually real. The media campaign, I hear that it's going to be lasting at least 3-4 months with a huge culmination into a big day in either June or July.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, we're starting to release the notes and coins sequentially in a relatively slow way. We will have a bigger launch, well, not a bigger launch, but we'll certainly make a public scene of it when all the notes and coins are in circulation.
Kuben Naidoo, thank you very much for your time.